Good. Well, it's morning when I'm recording this, so I'm going to say good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching it. This is just going to be a really short overview video of Module 2 because we just met last night at Clark Middle. So hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoyed yesterday's class. I know it was kind of short, so hopefully you enjoyed that part of it. But I hope too that the activities that we did in terms of starting to think about how we develop criteria, or what criteria we use when we start to consider what giftedness is and the programs that we offer, and who we may choose to invite into our gifted programs. Now, the exercise that we did last night towards the end of the class, that was really just to start to get the wheels moving. Clark County indeed has their own process for identification, which is what we'll look at really in Modules 3 and Modules 4, and that is referenced, really guided by the state. Because gifted education is funded and mandated in the state of Georgia, the state has a lot of regulation. Other states, you'll find that it's more localized, and it just depends on what district you are a part of as to whether or not you have a gifted program or identify. So hopefully enjoy those activities. Moving forward in Module 2, I am going to be updating your grade sheet. I've adjusted you have, I think, a course, you may have your Course 2 copied and pasted in there. I forgot if I've already done that or not. But if it is in there, I have some adjustments to make based on taking out the Google Plus form and adjusting some numbers here and there. But be looking for an updated Course 2 grade sheet soon, in which I'll also add your Module 1 attendance to that. And so you'll see that in your parent CCSD gifted folder. Oh, that's a slide from last course, don't worry about that. So here, Module 2 measurement theory, this is going to be due November 12th. It's really not due because you don't really have a formal assignment. Hooray. However, you are to read Solving the Assessment Puzzle. That's one of your textbooks for this week, pages 1 through 19. And you'll see it's not really heavy, intensive reading. It rather reviews a lot of basic measurement terms. And you have, as kind of optional, Salkins, I linked his chapters 3, 4, and 5 on reliability, validity, and norms and percentiles, and I think they are in that order. There are 2 presentations. The presentation thing that's titled a presentation, those are just going to be slideshows that you can kind of click through and read on your own accord. So that first one is over your assessment overview, which is basically over your Solving the Assessment Puzzle reading. And then I did record a video that talks a little bit more about some of the ideas that Salkin covers in terms of reliability, validity, norms, and percentiles. The material that you cover here in Module 2, the reading and what I talk about in the video and what's included in the Salkin chapters, that is on your final exam. So make sure that you understand what some of those terms mean, and or bookmark them, have them readily accessible so that you can go back and check yourself come final exam time. The Salkin chapters were not originally provided by Clark County. I provided those, so those do go into a little bit more depth about reliability and validity. So really what I cover in the video, Review of Measurement Theory, make sure you understand those concepts for your final exam. However, if you need additional support, those chapter readings are there for you. So no formal assignment. Do plan your shadow experience. We end this course, I think, January 28th. So you have, and I know holidays can get cray-cray, so make sure that you kind of plan accordingly as to when you're going to make that second classroom observation, and update your journal. Like, as soon as you do, don't forget to document your expectations prior to attending that class, and include a nice critical section at the bottom of that. Looking ahead, Module 4 is our next in-residence session, which is on December 3rd. That's where we start our identification for Clark County, where we start talking about that process. And Siri's going to be joining us for that and being able to answer some of your questions. I went back and looked at some of the curiosities that you guys listed about assessment from the end of our session last night, and I've highlighted some of those questions that I think will be good for her to answer. But I'm also be looking, probably the week ahead, I might fish out to see if you have any particular questions about the identification process of Clark County, and or the types of programs that Clark County offers. So that's what she's going to be discussing with us in that session. Again, just a reminder, please make sure you are try your hardest to be present on December 3rd, because that's where you're going to complete like half of your interpretation project. If you happen to be absent, you're going to have to find a time to connect with me in order to get some of that material. and I am not here in town as often as I used to be. So being present on December 3rd is going to be big. So please try to do that. That's it. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. If you have any questions, feel free to email me as always, and I will see you guys soon.